Magandang araw mga classmate! Ang pag-uusapan natin ngayong araw ay ang iba't ibang katangian ng graph ng polynomial functions, kabilang ang kanyang end behavior, ang intercepts, at ang multiplicity ng zeros. Bago tayo magpatuloy, ay balikan muna natin ang dalawang uri ng function na ating napag-aralan, yung tinatawag nating linear function at ang quadratic function. So, kung maaalala natin, classmates, so meron lamang tayong dalawang uri ng graph kapag ang pinag-uusapan natin ay linear function. So, maaaring ang graph natin ay leaning to the left or meaning rising to the left and falling to the right side of the graph. Kapag ang kanyang slope ay negative. Kung ang slope naman ay positive, so generally makikita natin ang graph ng linear function na rising to the right and falling to the left. Ang quadratic function naman in general ay meron din dalawang uri ng graph. So kung ang kanyang leading coefficient ay positive, so makikita natin na kadalasan ang graph ng quadratic ay parabola kung saan ang dalawang end ng kanyang graph ay going upward. Kapag ang leading coefficient naman ng quadratic function ay negative, so makikita natin na ang dalawang end ng graph ay going down. So, isa pang katangian o isa pang magiging bahagi ng linear function at quadratic function sa aralin about polynomial function, so tandaan natin na ang anumang function na add ay merong kahalintulad na katangian sa linear function. So, ibig sabihin, kung ang polynomial function ay degree 3, degree 5, degree 7, so ang magiging katangian ng kanyang graph ay kahalintulad ng katangian ng graph ng linear function. So, ganun din ang mga polynomial function na even degree, katulad ng quadratic function. So, makikita nyo mamaya na ang magiging katangian ng graph ay kahalintulad naman ng quadratic function. Para sa unang katangian ng graph ng polynomial functions, so pag-aaralan natin ano ba ang magiging end behavior ng graph. Okay, so para malaman natin ang end behavior ng graph, so magagamit tayo ng tinatawag natin na leading coefficient test. So, ang unang step ay alamin kung ano yung value ng ating leading coefficient. So, muli, ang leading coefficient ay makikita natin sa leading term. So, yung leading term, ito yung term na merong variable na may pinakamataas na exponent. So, in this case, ito yung ating leading term. At ang kanyang leading coefficient is positive 2. So, if we're going to compare positive 2 to 0, so ibig sabihin, ang a natin is greater than 0. So, ito yung unang dapat nating tandaan. So, another thing, so ang ating leading term is 2x cubed. So, ibig sabihin, ang ating polynomial function is an example of odd function. So, ibig sabihin, katulad nung binanggit ko kanina, kapag odd function, so ang kanyang magiging end behavior ng graph ay kahalintulad ng linear function. So, pwede lang siyang maging rising to the right and falling to the left, or pwede rin namang rising to the left and falling to the right. So, in this case, dahil ang ating leading coefficient is positive 2, which is greater than 0, so ibig sabihin, so ang ating graph ay rising to the right and falling sa left side. Okay, so yung ibang part ng ating graph, later on madidiscuss natin kasi ang magiging focus lang ng leading coefficient test ay yung end behavior ng graph. So tandaan, kapag ang ating leading coefficient ay greater than 0, so ang end behavior ng graph is rising to the right and falling to the left. Okay, so this time let's consider another polynomial function. So this time we have y equals to negative x to the 5th power plus 3x to the 4th plus x cubed minus 7x squared plus 4. Again, so using the leading coefficient test, determine the value of the leading coefficient. So in this case, ang leading coefficient natin is negative 1. So if we're going to compare that to 0, so yung ating leading coefficient is less than 0. Okay, so this one is a different case dun sa ating first example. Although, pareha silang add function. Okay, so if that's the case, so similar pa rin siya sa linear function ng characteristic ng end behavior ng graph. So ang magdi-determine lang ng pagkakaiba nila yung value ng kanyang leading coefficient. So ito naman, kapag ang ating a or leading coefficient is less than 0, so ang ating magiging graph is rising to the left and falling to the right. Okay. Para sa ating pangatlong polynomial function, we have y equals to x to the 4th minus 7x squared plus 6x. So in this case, again, ang ating leading coefficient is positive 1. So meaning a is greater than 0. But this time, ang ating function is an example of an even function. So dahil meron tayong degree 4 sa ating leading term. So ibig sabihin dahil siya ay even function, ang magiging characteristic ng end behavior or ang end behavior ng graph ay pwedeng both upward or both falling. So dahil ang ating leading coefficient is positive or greater than 0, so expect na ang magiging graph natin o ang kanyang end behavior ay both rising. Okay. For our last polynomial function, we have y equals to negative x to the 4th plus 2x cubed plus 13x squared minus 14x minus 24. Again, ang ating leading coefficient is negative 1 or a is less than 0. And at the same time, meron pa rin tayong even function. Okay. So this time, ang magiging end behavior niya naman is both falling. Okay. To summarize, yung apat na example na meron tayo using leading coefficient test. Okay, tandaan natin na kapag add function with positive coefficient or yung a is greater than 0, so ang magiging end behavior ng graph is falling to the left, ito yon, and then rising to the right. Para naman sa add function uli na merong negative coefficient or ang ating a is, again, this is a greater than 0, ito a less than 0. So, ang magiging end behavior uli ng ating graph is rising to the left and falling to the right. Then, para sa mga even function naman na merong positive na coefficient or a greater than 0, so tandaan na ang kanyang magiging end behavior ay parehas na rising. At para sa mga even function na merong negative coefficient, so kabaliktaran. So, ito naman ay both falling ang kanyang end ng graph. Para sa ikalawang katangian ng graph ng polynomial function, so pag-uusapan naman natin this time yung intercepts. So ano ba yung intercepts? So based dun sa ating nakaraang lesson, ito yung mga value ng graph or ng function kung saan it will fall doon sa ating mismong axis. So kung x-intercept, so malolocate natin yung kanyang coordinate doon sa ating x-axis. So kapag tinawag naman natin y-intercept, so makikita naman natin yung kanyang coordinate doon sa kanyang y-axis. So balikan natin yung ating unang polynomial function kanina. So sabi natin we have y equals 2x cubed minus 7x squared minus 7x plus 12. So sabi natin ang kanyang magiging end behavior kanina is rising to the right and falling to the left. Okay. So para may sketch natin yung graph, so importanteng ma-determine natin yung intercepts. So paano ba kinukuha ang intercepts? So pwedeng gamitan natin siya ng factoring, pwedeng gamitan ng synthetic division, or i-apply natin yung rational root theorem. So in this case, ang factored form ng ating function is y equals to 2x plus 3 times the quantity of x minus 1 times the quantity of x minus 4. Kung saan ang kanyang mga intercepts ay, or x-intercepts ay negative 3 over 2, positive 1, and positive 4. So, i-plot natin yung ating mga x-intercepts. So, ang una nating coordinate is negative 3 halves, 0. Okay. So, ang negative 3 halves natin is also negative 1 and 1 half. So, ibig sabihin, in between ng negative 1 and negative 2 along the x-axis. Yung second x-intercept natin is 1. So, ang coordinate niya is 1, 0. And then, yung third point natin along the x-axis is 4, 0. And then, isama natin yung y-intercept. So, in this case, ang y-intercept natin is positive 12. Okay, so ang kanyang coordinate is 0, 12. So, siya ay ipa-plot natin along the y-axis. Okay. So, in this case, when we connect the points, so let us consider the end behavior. So, sabi natin kanina, so ang magiging end behavior nitong ating polynomial function is falling to the left. So, pwede na nating i-connect yung ating mga points. So, make sure na siya ay it will touch or intersect the points. Ulitin ko lang kasi one of the characteristic ng graph ng polynomial function dapat ay ang kanyang mga yung transition ng pagliko is a smooth curve. Okay, kaya kailangan medyo maingat din tayo kapag nag-sketch ng graph. Okay, so ito na yung sketch nung ating graph nung polynomial function. So ito is sketch lang kasi in between nung mga numbers along the x-axis, so meron pa yung mga points. So between positive 1 and positive 4, so meron pa yung mga points. So one thing lang na sigurado. So etong mga x-intercept will guide you at yung end behavior para maipakita natin yung graph ng function. So this time subukan natin yung ating ito yung pang-apat nating polynomial function kanina. So y equals to negative x to the fourth plus 2x cubed plus 13x squared minus 14x minus 24. So sabi natin ang magiging end behavior ng ating graph na ito or ng function na ito, so dahil ang a niya o ang leading coefficient is less than 0 at siya ay even function, so sabi natin kanina ang magiging end behavior ng graph nito is both falling. Okay. So ang kanyang factored form is y equals to negative times the quantity of x plus 3 times x plus 1 times x minus 2 times x minus 4. Kung saan ang kanyang mga x-intercepts ay negative 3, negative 1, positive 2, and positive 4. So kung ipa-plot natin siya sa Cartesian plane, so ang ating unang point along the x-axis is negative 3, 0, then negative 1, 0, 2, 0, and 4, 0. So yung y-intercept natin is negative 24. So ang kanyang coordinate is 0, negative 24. Okay, so in this case, pwede na nating i-connect yung ating mga points. Okay, so dahil sila ay both falling, so pwede tayong mag-umpisa dito. Ibababa natin. Then, i-connect lang natin yung mga points. Okay. So, in this case, ito yung ating sketch nung graph nung function natin. Okay, so nasunod natin yung end behavior na both falling and at the same time, so naisama rin natin yung mga intercepts dun sa sketch ng graph. Para naman sa panghuling katangian ng graph ng polynomial function is alamin natin ano ba yung epekto ng multiplicity of 0 sa kanyang graph. Okay. So subukan nating i-plot yung ating ito yung pangalawa nating function kanina. So we have y equals to negative x to the 5th power plus 3x to the 4th plus x cubed minus 7x squared plus 4. So ang kanyang factored form is y equals to negative times the quantity of x plus 1 square, x minus 1 times x minus 2 square. So isulat natin ang kanyang intercepts or ang x-intercepts. So, ang una nating x-intercept is negative 1. Then, yung pangalawa natin is positive 1. Ito yon, nanggaling dito. Then, yung ating pangatlong x-intercept is positive 2. Okay. So, if you will notice, dun sa ating unang factor na x plus 1, so ang kanyang degree ay 2. So, ibig sabihin, yung negative 1 natin is twice na naging 0 nung ating function. So, if that's the case, so yung negative 1 natin is merong tinatawag na multiplicity of 2. So, ibig sabihin, dalawang beses. So, ito yung magdetermine kung ilang beses. So, yung ating positive 1, so, makikita nyo dito, degree 1. So, hindi na natin ilalagay. So, it's understood na ang multiplicity niya is 1. Then, yung ating positive 2 na nanggaling dito, so, ang kanyang degree ay 2. So, ibig sabihin, ito ay meron ding multiplicity na 2. Okay. So, pwede na nating i-plot yung ating function dito sa ating graph. Okay. So, ilagay lang natin yung ating y-intercept. So, ang y-intercept natin is positive 4. So, ang kanyang coordinate is 0, 4. So, ito ang coordinate nito is negative 1, 0. So, yung pangalawa is 1, 0. And then, yung pangatlo is 2, 0. Okay, so balikan natin yung end behavior. So, sabi natin kanina, yung ating pangalawang function, so dahil negative ang kanyang leading coefficient, which is less than 0, at siya ay add function. So, sabi natin kanina na ang kanyang end behavior is rising sa left side and then falling sa right side. Okay. So, i-plot natin yung ating mga intercepts. So, we have negative 1, 0, then positive 1, 0, and 2, 0. So, isama natin yung y-intercept 0, 4. Okay. So, siguro, nag-iisip na kayo paano natin i-connect yung points kung saan dapat ang left side is rising at falling yung right side. Okay. So, ito ngayon yung nagiging epekto o dito natin maipapakita yung epekto ng multiplicity ng 0. So, dahil yung ating negative 1 kanina na merong multiplicity of 2. So, ibig sabihin, ang multiplicity niya ay 2 even yung number. So, ibig sabihin, kung ang multiplicity niya is 4, 6, 8, and so on. So, parehas lang sila ng karakteristik. So, hindi siya dapat magi-intersect doon sa ating point sa graph. So siya ay magbabounce o the graph will touch that specific point. So subukan natin. So sabi natin kanina, negative 1, 0. Ito yon. So mag-uumpisa tayo dito sa taas kasi nga rising to the left. So dahil siya ay multiplicity of 2, sabi ko kanina, hindi siya magi-intersect. Siya ay magbabounce. So itatouch niya lang yung point at babalik siya uli pataas. Okay. Para maisama natin sa graph yung y-intercept. Okay. So next, kapag i-connect natin yung y-intercept pababa dito sa 1, 0, so in this case, itutuloy natin yung graph. Okay, assuming na na-connect na natin siya. Okay, so ang multiplicity niya ay hindi natin nailagay 1. Pero kapag ang multiplicity niya ay 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and so on, or yung mga add ang kanyang multiplicity, so it will cross the point. So ibig sabihin, tatagos yung ating graph doon sa ating point na yon. And then next, i-connect natin dito sa ating huling x-intercept. So ang multiplicity niya is 2. Ibig sabihin, hindi uli siya tatagos. Ibig sabihin, it will only touch the point. So magbabounce yung ating graph. Okay, so parang ganito ang magiging sketch ng ating graph. Yun. So burahin ko lang to. Okay, so nandito na yung sketch ng graph natin kung saan ang multiplicity ng ating dalawang 0 ay parehas na 2 at yung isa ay 1. Okay. So that's it. I hope ay meron kayong natutunan sa ating naging lesson sa araw na ito, and feel free to share this video to others, especially sa iba pa nating classmate para mas marami pa tayong matulungan. Until next time!